Hey guys, Sports Checkdown back. Sorry I was gone for such a long time. I was gone for personal reasons, and also there wasn't much going on in the sports world, but that doesn't matter. I'm back now. And what I wanted to discuss today was the 8th seed in the NBA because as you guys know, the bubble started, and there's a possibility there could be either the Trailblazers, Memphis Grizzlies, Phoenix Suns, or the San Antonio Spurs will get the 8th seed. As of right now, recording it, right now Portland has just overtook Memphis for the 8th seed, but right now Memphis is the 9th seed, Phoenix is the 10th seed, and San Antonio is the 11th seed, but it's super close, and I'll be discussing who I think will make the 8th and 9th seed, and then who I think will be in the play-in tournament, and who I think will win the tournament. So, as of right now, I don't believe the San Antonio Spurs or the Memphis Grizzlies have a shot at the playoffs. That's because Memphis Grizzlies, first of all, they lost Jaren Jackson Jr., who was like their second best player and who was having a great season, and he was playing extremely well in the bubble. And also, he's just their second best player, so that's a huge loss to them as they lost interior presence where he does foul, but he plays good defense, and they lost their second best offensive weapon behind Ja Morant. And then I don't think they're real anymore. Before I did, but in the bubble, they've only managed to win one game, and that was with the team playing spectacular, the best I've ever seen them play. So I'm pretty sure Memphis won't be in the play-in, but, anything is possible. And then that leaves two other teams, the Phoenix Suns and the San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs have been playing well. I think they've lost not many games, 2 or 3 at most. And they've been playing very well. DeMar DeRozan just beat the Houston Rockets right now without James Harden, but it was still a pretty good win for the Spurs because they needed it, and if they lost, since the Phoenix Suns and Trailblazers won today, they would have been eliminated. So it was a very important win for them, and they came up through. I just don't believe they'll be able to win because they'll be playing Utah, and I just don't know if they can beat Utah. And even if Utah rests and San Antonio wins, I think if the Phoenix Suns win, they have the tiebreaker over the San Antonio Spurs, so they'll get to go ahead anyway. So, I just don't think the luck is on the San Antonio Spurs side because, first of all, they're playing a good team, and even if they do beat that good team, no one knows if they'll even make the playoffs. And then, so, I just don't know what they'll be able to do. So that leaves us with the Phoenix Suns, who they'll be playing the Dallas Mavericks, who are locked in the 7th seed. And so I really believe they have something, they don't really care. And so they'll play Luka and Kristaps, but they won't play them too much, I believe. They'll still play them to keep them in shape and keep the blood flowing and everything, but I don't think they'll be doing much besides that. I think they'll play the superstars of Dallas only like 25 minutes, and so the Suns will be fighting their lives off because if they lose, they're out, so this is a must-win for them. And the way Devin Booker has been playing, I definitely think they can pull it off, and I would take them as favorites in the game. And they can go 8-0 in the bubble, as you know, they've been 7-0. They've been playing absolutely spectacular. They beat the Los Angeles Clippers. They beat the Dallas Mavericks already, and that was when Dallas had something to play for. So it's a pretty good team right now in Orlando because they're playing with house money, and they're really red hot right now. So I think they have the best chance of making the play-in after Portland because Portland is at the 8th seed, and I do not believe they'll lose because I think they're playing an easier team. So I think it'll leave Phoenix and Portland in the 8th and 9th seed, and since the Phoenix is only less than 4 games behind, I think they'll only be half a game behind Portland by the end of this. So they'll definitely be in the play-in together. And so if you don't know how the play-in works, Portland only has to win 1 to advance, but Phoenix has to win 2 because Phoenix is a 9th seed and Portland is the 8th seed. So Phoenix will need to win 2 out of 3 games to pass, while Portland only needs to win 1 out of 3 to advance to the playoffs. So that's going to be a little tough for Phoenix, but the way Portland has been playing, I know Damian Lillard's been on an absolute tear, But I just don't have faith in them because they look red hot, but they've been playing teams who've been resting their starters near the end, or just completely resting their starters. Because if you look back to the Clippers game, the one Damian Lillard missed 2 free throws, late free throws, and he got clowned by Paul George and Patrick Beverley, which I wouldn't have done, but that's a different story. But Damian Lillard missed the 2 late game free throws, and Kawhi didn't play that game at all. Paul George didn't play the fourth quarter at all. Lou Williams barely played the fourth quarter. It was only the Clippers' second or third lineup. So they couldn't beat that while they were at full health and full everything on their lineup, Portland. So they didn't have a good game there. And then it took Damian to drop 55 or something like that, I believe, or 51 against the Philadelphia 76ers to beat them. And they didn't have Joel Embiid. They only had Tobias Harris and Josh Richardson. And so it took Damian a valiant effort to beat them. And I'm just not sure that will happen against Phoenix, because Phoenix will be playing their asses off, as they have nothing to lose. If they do have a lot to lose. I mean, they have so much to lose, so they're going to be playing with a lot of confidence, or at least a lot of fire in their heart, because they have everything to lose. And so, and they're also going to be at full health besides Kelly Oubre, but they've been playing without Kelly Oubre the whole bubble, and they've been 7-0, and they might be 8-0. And so I believe it'll be between Portland and Phoenix, and I believe Phoenix will win the 2 playing games necessary, and then they'll advance just to face the Lakers, and I think they'll get a game or 2 at max against the Lakers. I like Phoenix much more than the Lakers, if I'm being honest. I do not like the Lakers, not because LeBron's there or something like that. It's just that, I don't know, I just don't like the Lakers, but that doesn't matter. I have the Phoenix Suns making the playoffs, and I have Portland making the 8th seed, but then they're going to get bounced out by the play-in tournament. And San Antonio, I think they'll be the 10th seed, and I believe the Memphis Grizzlies will finish last, because they've had a terrible bubble outing. They needed to win like 3 games, and I believe they would have been good, or even 2 games, and they would have been in the bubble, or in the play-in tournament. But they just couldn't do that because they weren't playing good with Jaren Jackson. But without Jaren Jackson, they won their first game, obviously, but it just didn't look pretty without Jaren Jackson at all. So it definitely hurts not having Jaren Jackson for him. So that's why I'm going to take Phoenix and Portland to play in the play-in, and then I'm going to take Phoenix to beat Portland in the play-in, and that's what I believe will happen. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Please like and subscribe and share if you can. It helps a ton.